So we've been up to one or two things since we last recorded. We went down. Do you think we can talk about a visit that's out of the Highlands? We went down to Cascade Falls, down from Macquarie Pass.
Well, it's only just outside, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's a whole different kind of habitat, isn't it? Something we don't get hardly at all, except maybe down in the creeks. So.
Is that temperate rainforest? Is that what we would call it?
I'd call that rainforest. If you want to start to get classification, I don't know that you might call it cool temperate forest. I'm not sure. You want to get fancy.
So if one of our friends
it's definitely rainforest, isn't it?
Yeah,
With
it's gorgeous.
Wonderful curly lianas and coachwoods and sassafras. They're really only grow in these kind of really wet places where it's dense and dark and cool, and a whole different gamut of different animals live there. It's a whole different habitat.
It is. We had a really great time, and we saw and heard some different birds. This was actually a good ad in a way for learning bird calls, because we became aware of some species that we don't see very often at all. And in some cases we didn't see them, even at the rainforest, because it's dense, but we knew who was around because we could recognise their calls.
Yes. And there's an echo that goes around the rainforest because of the lovely tall trees. It's like living in a cathedral, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, it's got that echo. And so we saw some rare birds for us.
We did.
Didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Really
we heard a cicada bird that was calling in the distance.
Brush cuckoo, which I have seen it on the Highlands, brush cuckoo, but a migrant.
And the yellow-throated scrub wren.
Oh, we're very excited about that. I like to call him the Lone Ranger bird because he's got this black, it's a small yellow bird, sort of in the scrub or mid layers, yes?
Yes.
He's small, but he's bright yellow, and then he's got this black mask over his eyes all the way around to the side, and he looks like the Lone Ranger.
But not very cooperative for taking photos. I've got lots of photos of blurred yellow-throated scrub wren.
Well, yeah, he was pretty lively. Well, there'd been a lot of rain, and so this was a nice warm day, and the insects were just bursting their bubbles.
Yes.
Their eggs.
Yes.
And I think all the insectivorous birds
were out and about. Yeah. And speaking of which, we also saw a number of dragonflies in there. That was gorgeous too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was a fabulous. It's called Cascade Falls.
Yes.
And it's at the
right
foot.
At the bottom of the Macquarie Pass.
You can actually park on the left-hand side when you get to the bottom, and then there's a cleared area of grass, and then you just go beyond that, and you then start to go into the Fairyland.
And we didn't even mention that there's a gorgeous waterfall at the end.
Waterfall at the end.
It's an easy walk. It's comparatively short. If you go slowly, you'll see and hear all kinds of things. We really recommend it.
I love that walk.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,